Top 20 E-commerce interview questions and answers. E-commerce is a highly competitive field thanks to its adoption by several stores. More stores are also opening day in day out, adding to the already increasing number. If you are eyeing an e-commerce job, ensure that you are exceptional. Online store owners are looking for people who can drive an excellent online user experience. This article will look at a few questions that you should expect in an e-commerce interview to help you familiarize yourself with some of the assessment areas. We have also included our answers, which we hope will guide you in coming up with unique responses when facing the interview panel. Take a look at the following. 1. Tell us about yourself. This is an opening question in all, if not most interviews. Its main purpose is to break the ice and get you talking normally. However, please do not take it lightly. The best approach here is to give a summary of your career or things related to it. Sample answer: I am a passionate customer care representative working with e-commerce platforms. I have a degree in sales and marketing, where I passed with a distinction. I have worked on 3 platforms in a span of 7 years, where I have learned a lot. I joined this field owing to my love of technology and helping people out. 2. Why should we hire you? This is also another common question that you should expect in an e-commerce interview. It can be asked as an opening question or in the first few minutes of your interview. The interviewer is giving you a chance to sell yourself by mentioning some of the things that the business stands to enjoy from your services. Sample answer: I am a passionate e-commerce assistant with over 10 years of experience. I have worked with several e-commerce stores as a freelancer and an employee and gathered a great deal of experience. I also have several important skills that I have gathered in this job that I can use to better your store if given a chance. 3. Tell us about a career accomplishment that you are most proud of. This is still another chance to sell yourself and maybe brag about your achievements. Mention one of the big things you have achieved in your career or anything you found meaningful in your career. Sample answer: I once turned down a major platform for a startup. It sold products that I believed in and therefore felt that my services would be better utilized there. It was a leap of faith, and the salary was not as good compared to the job I turned down. Within a year, the startup grew tenfold, and we would always sell out most of our stock. It turned out to be one of my biggest accomplishments, steering the startup to greater heights. 4. In your opinion, what is the future of e-commerce? What do you think lies in store for e-commerce in the few years to come? The interviewer is assessing your insight into the future and whether you pay attention to the industry at large. Sample answer: e-commerce is fast-growing and therefore has a prosperous future. I envision a time when all the major retail stores will turn to e-commerce. It may also replace physical retail stores if sellers keep on adopting it and the general public continues embracing it. I also believe that the e-commerce platforms that do not serve certain parts of the world will open up their services more and cover those areas. 5. What are the features of e-commerce? This is a technical question. The interviewer wants to know just how conversant you are with e-commerce. Your answers should be brief and straight to the point. Mention some of the common features that everybody knows. Sample answer: e-commerce has several features that both buyers and sellers find helpful. These include non-cash payment, support, inventory management, improved sales, 24/7 serviceability, on-the-go services, and reliability. People can also access e-commerce platforms from anywhere. Do not mention advantages such as reliability here. The interviewer just wants the features. 6. Tell us about the different e-commerce models. The interviewer is assessing what you know about e-commerce. This is also a technical question seeking to reveal your knowledge of e-commerce. Just like the previous one, make sure that your answer is brief and straight to the point. Sample answer: there are a number of e-commerce business models. These are business to business, also known as B2B, business to customer B2C, government to business, government to citizen, business to government, and consumer to consumer. You can also give the abbreviations of those we haven't provided. 7. What are the advantages of e-commerce to organizations? Do you understand how organizations stand to benefit from e-commerce? Your answer will tell the interviewer whether you are indeed experienced in this field or not. Mention some of the advantages that you have seen e-commerce brings to businesses. Sample answer: e-commerce allows business and organizations to extend their operations to newer or international markets using less capital. They can get more customers, suppliers, and even partners. It is also a cheaper way of doing business as it cuts the cost of process creation, distribution, and documentation. Lastly, it offers better customer service and is highly efficient. 8. Mention the technological disadvantages of e-commerce. This is quite similar to the previous question, just that it needs its opposite. The interviewer wants to know if you understand some of the disadvantages that e-commerce may bring. Like the question above, mention some of the disadvantages based on your experience. Sample answer: even though e-commerce has its fair share of advantages, it also poses a number of technological disadvantages. Some common ones are lack of data and system security, poor implementation standards, and rapid changes. It can also be affected by network issues, and some areas may need high-speed internet connectivity to access the different e-commerce platforms. Issues such as software and hardware compatibility with certain operating systems may also arise. 9. Tell us the difference between e-commerce and traditional platforms. E-commerce platforms are rapidly phasing out traditional platforms. If you need an e-commerce job, you should know the difference between these two platforms and some of the former's advantages over the latter. Sample answer: traditional commerce mainly relies on information exchange from one person to another, which is not the case for e-commerce. Traditional commerce requires manual intervention for communication and transaction, whereas these two can be done asynchronously in e-commerce. Lastly, e-commerce provides a uniform platform for all communications, which is not the case for traditional commerce. 10. In your experience, how does e-commerce work? This is a technical question that seeks to understand if you know how e-commerce works. The interview may also ask you such a question to reveal your experience working with e-commerce. Remember, you cannot land a job if you do not know how the main subject of the interview operates. Answer this question clearly and convince the interviewer that you understand e-commerce. Sample answer: customers normally go to the website and choose the product they want to buy in e-commerce. Once they have selected, they will choose the payment mode and then check out for an order to be placed. The customer will then get the product information and delivery logistics. 11. Explain the B2C business model. This is yet another technical question that an interviewer may ask to assess if you know some of the concepts of e-commerce. It is an advanced e-commerce question, and therefore, your answer should be as detailed as possible. Clearly explain this model and make the interviewer believe that you truly understand what it is. Sample answer: this e-commerce model deals directly with customers by selling them goods. The customer will view the products on the website, choose and then place an order. The product will then be delivered to the address, and the transit updates sent to the customer. 12. What are some of the shortcomings of e-commerce? Do you know some of the reasons that may discourage people or stores from adopting e-commerce? Your answer should portray a deep understanding of e-commerce. Sample answer: e-commerce has a number of shortcomings, which make many businesses skeptical about adopting it. It requires a hefty initial setup cost that goes into creating a website and an application. Some people also have trust issues and may prefer traditional commerce over it. Ensuring the security and privacy of online transactions and the stored data can also be quite difficult. Lastly, the delivered product may differ from the client's expectations. Other shortcomings include unavailability of internet connectivity in some areas, delay in application launch, lack of experience, and unavoidable issues. 13. What are some of the sectors of e-commerce applications available in the market? There are different sectors of e-commerce platforms available aside from goods retail that we all know. You can mention some of the services that your former companies of engagement were involved in. Also, go straight to the point. Sample answer: there are different applications available for various sectors. Some of the commonest include entertainment, books, financial services, clothing, movie tickets, computer products, accessories, toys, travel information, gifts, electronics, and mobile phones. We have just mentioned a few. You can include others that you have come across. 14. What does the society gain from e-commerce? E-commerce should benefit society at large. You are part of the society and should therefore have a definite answer to this question. The best approach is to mention how it has made the life of the general society better. Sample answer: e-commerce has greatly reduced the cost of products thanks to its wide reach. It has bridged the gap between those in the rural and urban areas, as they can use the products that those in towns use and are not found in their areas of residence. The government can also effectively deliver services such as healthcare, education, and social services. Lastly, it has done away with the need to travel in search of a product. One just needs to key in an address and get the goods delivered. 15. Mention some of the key metrics that one should track in an e-commerce model. Despite the difference in transactions, the main goal of e-commerce remains to ensure that the product gets sold. One should always know some of the channel metrics and set KPI for different channels, given that this is an omni-channel way of making sales. Sample answer: there are different metrics that one should track in e-commerce. These are the customer acquisition cost, return on advertising spend, customer retention, and email or SMS open and click-through rates. One should also track the average order value, customer lifetime value, and repeat customer rate. 16. What are some of the e-commerce companies that inspire you? The interviewer will always assume that you are an online consumer when you attend an e-commerce interview. Another assumption is that you must have identified a company where you are willing to be a repeat customer. Mention the company and tell the interviewer why it is your favorite. Sample answer: I love Amazon. It has an amazing user interface and a wide range of products. It also serves a wide market, including some that other e-commerce companies have neglected. Other reasons include safe payment, timely deliveries, good return policies, and amazing customer support. You do not have to mention these renowned e-commerce platforms. You can also mention one that is not yet well known, but you find amazing. Just make sure that you give good reasons. 17. How would you ensure that an e-commerce company gets repeat purchases and increased customer retention? It would be best if you had a plan of improving some of the fundamental metrics before being given a chance to serve in the organization. If not, you should have already brainstormed a few ways to help you get through problems that impair the achievements of good metrics. Therefore, show the interviewer that you understand the customer's mindset and scale the customer's experience to get them back again. You should also bring your experience in retaining customers to light. Sample answer: to ensure that this company retains customers, I will improve the current marketing strategy to ensure better product visibility. I will create a blog with related articles and also strive to improve the company's marketing email. All in all, make sure that the answer you offer convinces the interviewer that you can indeed add value to the organization. 18. What are some of the technologies that have bettered your experience in e-commerce? The hiring manager of the panel of interviewers wants to know how experienced you are in using and implementing new technology. You should know some of the tools that have made e-commerce and overall online shopping more interesting. Explain why your choices of technology have made your shopping experience better. Sample answer: I have used a number of technologies that have improved my e-commerce experience. First, SaaS platforms have made e-commerce easy and accessible to several entrepreneurs. Tools such as Market or Hire helps one find great marketing talent, whereas Later helps me schedule my Instagram posts. I also happen to love the virtual try-on that reduces amounts of returns and exchanges. 19. From your experience, which is the best way of maintaining positive customer experience throughout an e-commerce business model? You should remember that even though e-commerce is different from traditional commerce, it is still a type of commerce. Therefore, customers must be kept satisfied. Every e-commerce professional must always strive to maintain a positive customer experience. Remember, customers also notice the smallest things that may seem negligible to you. Sample answer: the best way to keep customers satisfied is to make them feel appreciated. I have found that following up on a customer even after they have purchased a product works magic. Replying to reviews and clarifying some of the issues that they may have also keep them satisfied. Lastly, including an appreciation note in the customer's delivery occasionally may also work the magic. 20. What are some of the elements of a successful AdWords campaign? Marketing plays a key role in the success of e-commerce. Having a website where people can buy goods is not enough. One needs to step up their marketing, especially now that we have several e-commerce companies possibly selling the same products. Sample answer: a successful Google AdWords campaign should have properly placed keywords and informative landing pages. You should also ensure that your ads are well optimized for mobile users. Remember, most modern consumers use their mobile phones to obtain information and make purchases, and therefore, not making your ads optimized for them may be detrimental on your part. We have only mentioned a few. You can also mention others that you know. Conclusion: these are some of the commonest e-commerce interview questions. You must have realized that they are a blend of operational and technical questions. Therefore, make sure that you research widely on e-commerce before appearing in such interviews.